everybody. Welcome to The New Normal. I'm your host, Lisa Davis, aka Litecoin Lisa. And today is Friday. So you know what that means. Grab something red. And remember, everyone, deployed, RED, every Friday. We thank our military and their families for all that they do for us. April is Military Appreciation Month. So we always want to give a lot of big shout outs to our military as well. Oh, wait, it's May. It's May. May is Military Appreciation Month. I'm sorry. I don't know what day it is or what month it is, because let's face it, we're in a movie. Trump's trying to remind us all. We'll go over that and more when we get Westwood. So let's get Westwood and find out what's happening this week. Find out what he's drinking right after this. Give us a like and share the video. Jump in the live chat with all the great peeps. Happy Friday, Westwood.
Happy Friday, lovely Litecoin Lisa.
Thank you.
How are you today?
I'm well. I'm better. It's been a rough week. We had some hospital visits and treatments and tests for my son this week. That was a little difficult, not fun for the mama bear. And the Schumann resonance has been all over the place, and people have been talking about solar flares and nobody's sleeping well. And my dog's ringing the doorbell. She really wants to go out and go to the bathroom.
Of course.
You know, all the
Good
things.
timing, as always. My dog will be barking soon, because that's what she does. She'll be humping my leg, doing all the things. Yeah.
But the best part, we have great folks in the live chat. Congratulations to Aquarian Den Napping. I heard that she won a Litecoin.
Really?
Yeah. So
from like the Litecoin Foundation, or in that chat that they had or something?
It was in the Litecoin Foundation. She entered a contest of something.
Okay.
Is that
That's
the
awesome.
Foundation?
I think that it might have been, they had a Spaces or something. I saw they were giving away a Litecoin. It was with them, and might have been MoonPay or something, or one of the sponsors, I think. Cake Wallet, maybe one of them.
Yeah, she said she filled out like a thing. I was reading earlier when we were waiting to get started, and she said she filled out something. Can't remember where it is.
I'm seeing people behind me here. I saw somebody standing there. Well, it's not Mitch. He's not here.
Was somebody really standing behind you?
I don't know. I thought somebody was standing there, but maybe not.
Sasquatch.
There are Sasquatches around here. There's one back there, and there's one over there, and there's one over there, and everywhere. There's one right here. I'm not such a Sasquatch anymore. I've been dropping a little bit of weight.
They're everywhere.
Lifting, getting back in the game.
There you go. Oh, man.
I keep lifting, I'm going to be right out of Central Casting. I'll be like one of those guys.
Okay, that's one of my clips for today.
I know. I know.
Oh, my goodness. Was it at Alabama, or was he just, where was he? I don't know. He was saying
just at Alabama, I think, Thursday.
Okay. One of my friends from high school, her daughter graduated like whatever valedictorian. She was that cute little blonde standing right behind Trump.
That's like everybody down there.
Well, she was the one directly behind Trump in the red cap
specifically
with all the things on. And then she got a picture of her shaking hands with him and stuff. And but I was like, I saw this video that they put together. Oh, that's the wrong link.
The compilation video of Central Casting.
Like all the Central Castings. And I was like, when you turned me on to that.
I remember exactly when it was. We're watching his speech. It was like a few years back for one of your Team Mighty events, you know, when I was down there, and Charlie was on the couch, and I think you were on the freaking fireplace as usual. And then we're watching it, and you're right there. And then, you know, he kept saying Central Casting. And I said, hey, you realize he's saying this and what that means?
Like Central Casting. Hey, you know what? And he's Central Casting. Look at that guy, Central Casting. And these are Central Casting. If I'm doing a movie, I pick you, General.
I wish he'd pick me.
Central Casting. Very impressive. Oh, you're Central Casting. Look at this guy. This man's Central Casting. I watch him all the time. Central Casting. He's a real talent, a real guy, and he is Central Casting. Do we agree? Central Casting. They're Central Casting, the red suspenders, handsome, beautiful, smart. You couldn't get better Central Casting.
He is great in every way, and he's Central Casting. I mean, this is a man that was born for the position.
No, he was Central Casting, like the perfect Supreme Court judge. These guys are Central Casting. There's nobody in Hollywood that looks like these people. And they're Central Casting. I've never seen a group of people like this. Everyone's in perfect shape. My friend, Central Casting. I always call him Central Casting. Boy, is that Central Casting. That's it. Does he look like Central Casting? Look at these guys are Central Casting, like from a movie. Like Central Casting. You can't cast anybody. You don't have anybody in Hollywood that looks like these guys. And a great looking Central Casting. We're a great general. It's a great Central Casting general. Look at that. Central Casting.
What generous.
He's like Central Casting for ownership of a hotel. Everyone is Central Casting. Central Casting. Glasses, head, boom. I watch Judge Kavanaugh, who's Central Casting. This
That's
guy's
a
like
concerning
Central Casting.
Judge Kavanaugh.
You couldn't pick a better guy in Hollywood. There's no actor that could do it better.
You are so Central Casting. Great marks, great schools, the best everything, the best of everything. Your family, you don't fight your children, you don't have a problem in the world, you are the
Coffee and
Central Casting. These guys, you couldn't, I mean, it's incredible. They had a master sergeant there. I could take him right now. Bring him to Hollywood. Make a military movie, and he's the star of the movie. That happened once before, you know. That did happen.
Military movie. Oh, what does this say? I didn't get that button. Straight from Central Casting.
Before, you know. That did happen once.
I have to make that bigger. I can't read that. Those who swore an oath to protect and defend against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Those good people who serve proudly for America. Castle Rock for God and country. You. Casting. Castle Rock Entertainment. The end. Well, there you go, folks. I mean,
All the world's a stage. All the men and women merely players.
wow. I mean,
You know, the Shakespearean stuff. It is very Shakespearean what's going on. I mean, a lot of the stuff, you have to admit. And is this guy not having the best time of his life? Think of Trump. He's got to be riding this wave. I mean, just enjoying this whole thing. Yes, I mean, look at him. Just right there in the center of it.
I guess.
Eye of the storm.
It's just so a little more of the movie today. Not to get ahead of the play. Or today, I was trying to catch up on some gold and silver. I love watching about silver. We have a showing for the house tomorrow. So any good energy, prayers, thoughts, whatever, tomorrow morning around
Going for you.
thank you, around 10 a.m.
I am.
Central Time.
I want you to be happy.
Yes, we can move this thing along. And then hopefully we can get this thing turned around. So I was looking for our buddy and one of our trusted guide, well, two of our trusted guides. So I'm looking at Bictha stuff, seeing what he's saying about gold and silver, what it's going to be doing. I'm watching videos, checking on that. And then of course, I'm running around the house, cleaning up and making everything smell pretty and fluffing pillows and doing all the things. And then I'm letting it play. And this older video, it's 2 months old, comes up of Andy Schekman, of course,
Yeah. Yep.
Miles Franklin. And it's like from Kitco. And I have not heard him talk about this before. But you guys know recently I've been talking about, like I ordered Judy Shelton's book, The Money Meltdown, because once Trump was standing in the plane and he started talking about the patient, and the patient survived the operation.
Yep.
The operation's over. The patient survived. And then I found that letter that Nixon wrote to Judy Shelton after she wrote this book, Money Meltdown, and then she wrote an article. And Nixon wrote her a letter and said that the patient needed a dose of medicine. And then, of course, we all follow Bix, and he ran across the Road to Ruta documents on the Fed.
Boston Fed, wasn't it?
Boston Fed website.
The Boston Fed. He was up
Yeah.
late night doing research, comes across this, downloads all this stuff, and it's like,
Finds a
frick?
comic book from the 80s, which is not this one. This is a newer one. And it has I call her little Judy Shelton. Actually, my friend Ben Skullcap coined the term little Judy Shelton.
little Judy.
She kind of looks like Road to Ruta. I said, I think Judy Shelton is Ruta. And he goes, she kind of looks like Ruta.
No coincidences, right?
Now he calls her little Judy Shelton. So it's kind of stuck. So if you look at the original Ruta, which I should pull up a picture of her, she does kind of look like Ruta. So in the original Ruta,
Betty Boopish.
the original Wishes and Rainbows, Ruta writes 9 + 11 in the sand. In the new one, she erases that and writes the infinity symbol. So they decide, no, 9/11's not going to work. We have to print the money to infinity to solve this, which what's been happening.
Gotta blow it up.
Blowing it up and
Burn the engine up.
the 14 magic money printing machines and all this stuff. Nope, got printed to infinity.
They've been doing it. That's for sure.
Little Judy Shelton has written in her book what the patient needs. Got to give the patient some medicine. And now Trump has said the patient survived the operation. The pause happened. The patient survived the operation. So then listen what Andy says, that during Trump's first, well, just let Andy tell you. Oh, and by the way, don't forget that at the Daytona, Trump's granddaughter came running out with a little rainbow, like a Ruta rainbow dress with this hat on. But let's see
Gold.
what Andy Schectman has to say.
$24,000 ounces, his number. You put gold at 24,000, that means you just gave $6 trillion free and clear to the Treasury General account to work its way out of this debt burden, to inspire confidence, to peg it to the treasuries. And Judy Shelton said to me, Andy, I was very close with Trump in his first administration. She was the Federal Reserve nominee for Trump, wasn't confirmed, but she said that they discussed issuing these treasuries long and hard, and says it is her belief, and I believe she'll be on the Federal Reserve Board this time around, but it is her belief that he will issue treasuries backed by gold on July 4th, 2026, the 250th year anniversary. She told me that. She told me she believes Fort Knox will be audited, and she told me, not in so many words, but more or less agreed that gold will be revalued to a much higher level to do this. Now, if it really was going to be in 2026, you have to have all the pieces in place before you say, here's our new gold-backed treasury. These pieces, you look at all the dots, you look at all the facts, Jeremy, and I mean, in and of themselves, they're all pretty significant. Put them together, and it's like, man, could this be the picture that I'm seeing? Could it be? Maybe I'm stupid enough, or maybe I'm onto something to say it out loud. My feeling is that they are planning something much bigger for gold than we're all have been led on to believe, that it's just repatriating it to take advantage of the spread between London and New York, or to backfill in case for these naked contracts that need to have gold backing if there are those that stand for delivery. No, I think it's way deeper than that, Jeremy. I think there's something in store for gold, which is what? The only other tier one reserve asset in the world that all the central banks are buying hand over fist. It would benefit them all of the central banks. And maybe that's what the plan has been all along, not sure. But why else would the most powerful bank on the planet, the most powerful, the BIS, reclassify gold as the world's only other tier one? I'll let your listeners think about that and decide for themselves. For me, there's a plan in motion that the insiders, the central banks, have known about for a long time.
Yeah.
We're just finding out as it progresses.
Yeah.
So here's the other thing. This is from 2 months ago. He also talked about that China was had some delay until May 3rd. Well, I had told you guys about how the strategic reserve that Trump had ordered to have the plan ready by May 3rd for us, and our new merit system, we get rid of DEI, and the new merit system, no reward without effort, is to be fully engaged by May 21st of this year, not 26. And Trump just announced that he is going to have a huge military birthday parade thing for the Army on his birthday. It's like Flag Day and the Army's birthday and his birthday or something like that. June. Oh, no. Are they going to do it July 4th? No, I can't find it.
Well, he did talk about in his first term about July 4th, you know, being like a Liberation Day, Celebration Day, a big celebration and big parades and this. And so maybe, you know, the timeline got pushed out to the next term. You know what I mean? Maybe it was too soon, but he's been telegraphing that stuff for a while.
I think they're going to do it this year, not 76. And then we're going to celebrate for an entire year. Remember Trump talking about, or was it Cliff's talking about celebrations for an entire year? Because we were going to do like those state, like, remember the old, what were they called? They used to have them, like the state fair kind of things or whatever.
World fairs?
Yeah. No growling. Yeah. And,
which that's a whole rabbit hole to go down too.
Yeah. And Andy mentioned in this interview something I haven't heard him say before. He is the only mint that is already approved or already doing this. What was it called? I want to say it was called Glix, but that's our Glix Bix.
That's the singing Bix. Glix.
Yeah, but it's like a digitized gold thing. Dang it. I was walking around cleaning and listening, and anyway, I should have paused it and looked at the timestamp. But I'll have Andy on and ask him all this stuff.
There you go.
He's
already dipping into the woo, you know, he got his feet in it. He's wading in the pool.
Oh, he's such a good guy. And, you know, Bix introduced us to him and his beautiful wife. And they're just great people. And he's really wise and just, you know, watches just, you know, global markets and all that. But yeah, so I think little Judy Shelton is Ruta. And I think it's all part of the plan since Nixon, since JFK, not since Nixon.
Yeah, I think there had to be a concerted effort since then. Can you imagine, you know, you kill the king, you know, and you upset the entire empire, you know, that's the whole Hamlet thing, you know, that poison comes down from the top, you take the head, and, you know, and that whole thing. And then it's, once that moment happened, that shots heard around the world, if you're not concerned at that level and there aren't forces, you know, good forces aligning at that point, then what other thing is going to make, you know, cause that? You know, it'd be the impetus, you know. That was a major event. That's one of those events maybe I was there. I mean, it was one of those things I always knew as a youngster that everything changed in that moment. Do I know why I thought that? I just had that intuition that it's like that was the moment that something shifted, you know, in our country, in the world. And it really was when you look back at everything that happened. You know, you ramp up wars and endless wars, and military industrial complex really folds in, you know, and digs in, and
the propaganda
tyranny,
all the mind control,
everything.
celebrities, went in
Media.
everybody's houses. Yeah.
Everything ramped up, pharmaceutical industrial complex, all of it, it's just, they're going to throw everything they have, and they've thrown everything they have with all the trillions that they printed up, all the fake money, all the fake casino chips, malinvestments that they've created, and they can't still kill the human spirit. And they're not going to be able to, because that's a fire that cannot be put out. And so we're at the end game. They can't keep doing this. And so they're starting to fall apart. You can kind of see it, I have faith that, I don't know, I just know we're going to win. We are winning. More people wake up, more people inspired, fire burning in the belly.
My clicker is not working, you guys. I'm sorry. I'm not able to. There it goes. I wasn't able to get some of the comments on there. I want to give our good friends Mark Weems and our Marky girl a big shout out. Happy birthday. Oh, Allie.
Allie and Mark.
Allie and Mark Weems.
May 2nd, birthdays. Happy birthday.
Yes. No, girls. Happy birthday. Where my husband went. He abandons me with these wild animals. They just start growling.
Let them loose. Open the gates.
Vicious.
Look at him.
Yeah.
He's up there perched, ready to pounce. Look at him.
Wow, what a week. If you guys haven't got a chance to watch Jenny Constantine Moonstone's interview with Uncle Cliff, go watch that. It was wild. Jenny and I were messaging afterwards, and because she watched so I went on live with Skullcap about the same time, and then Uncle Cliff was asking Jenny these questions, and she was doing tarot, and he's like, so I want to know if they are afraid of, I don't know if he said if they're afraid of the underground stuff. Anyway, basically like what we were talking about, the ley lines and the Vatican knowledge, underground and all that, is like what they're afraid of us finding out about, because if we're able to, like, which I think we're going to use the plasma, like I have that 4D idea. Maybe it doesn't happen the way I'm thinking, but that's my understanding of it and the way I'm able to like kind of unpack it. Maybe it's more of an ascension thing. I don't know. But if we're able to reach that knowledge that we're hearing that may be under the Vatican, that's what they're terrified of us finding out. Is kind of what Uncle Cliff was getting through Jenny's cards.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they are terrified of, us getting that knowledge. And then Ben and I are unpacking this. That's what Vance went to the Pope and got the ring, and that's the St. Peter thing, and then the ley lines. And I don't know, it was just very wild that we were talking about. We were like converging, but two different channels at the same time. And so I don't know, it's kind of cool.
I would agree with that, with the energy. I guess that's the what I took out of that interview was that, yes, they're afraid of us discovering the truth. They're afraid of us understanding the power that we can really tap into, that they're trying to build on top of and hide and put pyramids on top of it and shafts going down, and all this connection to the earth energy. You know what I mean? Just this source energy that runs through the earth. You talked about the Schumann resonance earlier, and it's just like there is that frequency, and I mean, how else can you do you can't build these structures, we can't even do it with modern machinery. There's something bigger at work, something else, some other power that they're keeping us from and dumbing us down with institutionalized religion. It's like, oh no, just stay in the cattle chute, follow along and everything will be fine. Pay your indulgence and all the sins go away. It's like, what? Sorry to offend anybody, but I mean, hello, history, you look at it. We see all these corrupt popes and all these corrupt leaders, in the past, but it's like, oh, no, it's in the past. They don't exist now. No, the scenery's different now. They're the same people, the same entities, the same energies. And so breaking through that and getting to the real energy of what we are and who we are that's already in us, and we connect to the greater, I mean, they don't want us doing that. And so they put all these, artificial constructs up to blind us, deceive us.
Actually, I forgot. I told her that I would send her a link if she wanted to join. Hold on. Sorry.
Did we have a new moon on Sunday? I kind of look back. I'm thinking it might have been a new moon. Opening new energies and.
I would have to look. I'm not good at keeping track of that stuff. I'm not.
I missed the smiley face moon because it was cloudy. I did see Venus bright in the sky, the eastern sky that morning. Bright. Whew. Calling to me, shining upon me in the drunken stupor I was in. Twilight.
I'd have to grok it or look it up somewhere.
My spiritual awareness that I was in. Let's just say that.
There you go.
Spiritual something.
I can look it up really quick. Hold on. Are you saying this weekend or last weekend?
I think it was last Sunday. It was
oh yeah, moon. There was a new moon last Sunday, or some full moon. Was it full moon?
Gotta be something to it, right? And then we see everything opening. Banks going down, can't send wire transfers, Venmo not working, or was it Zelle not working today? Yeah, all the.
I'm locked out of
power outages in Europe.
They won't let me use Zelle. I even went to the bank, to Chase Bank. I have an account there, but I am refused from transacting on Zelle, just like I can't use Venmo.
Well, there might be something that fixes that. Sound money for the digital age. Get you a little Litecoin. Litecoin doesn't stop working.
Yeah.
But this cigar just did. End of story.
Oh, no, I just have moon closest to Earth on the 27th.
Oh, really? I don't know. When was the new moon?
I don't know.
Okay.
When is new moon? Somebody in the chat is probably trying to. May 26th.
Okay, so Saturday. Last
Next
Saturday. Oh, May 26th. What was the other one? One before.
No, April 27th.
There it is. Sunday. Yeah, it was Sunday. New moon.
So it was, yeah.
New beginnings.
First quarter full moon. Next one is May 12th.
All right.
There we go. Now we know. We're all caught up.
All the knowledge at your fingertips.
Ask and ye shall find. Okay.
All the knowledge in your DNA. I'm a firm believer in that. I think we're already encoded and we already have the frequencies, we just have to unlock them. And what do they do to us? They spray us and feed us garbage and inundate us with lies and propaganda and mind control us and do all that stuff. And yet we still break free. So.
But there are good things happening. They got rid of the fluoride in Florida, right? And then they also got rid of the geoengineering in Florida.
Good. That's great.
She needs a damn iPhone. Somebody buy Jenny an iPhone, for goodness sake.
Well, she got an Android?
Yes. And you can
send you're living in the Stone Age? What is it, a Flintstone phone or something? Come on.
It makes me crazy. It makes me so crazy.
Jeez. Lord. I got to go into the settings and allow this or that or all the things.
Well, then I have to send her a message on something else, another platform, but then text her on this. It's just very frustrating.
Right, you got to have a rubric to figure out, okay, how do I contact Jenny? Okay, let's do this. And it's like, shouldn't you know how to do this stuff?
She doesn't care, is the thing. Jenny has a lack of giving.
I know. We've hung out. I know. Love her to death.
But that's part of her charm.
Yeah, I guess. Yep.
It really is.
She is
very genuine. And
wasn't she forgot her ID at the axe throwing place, and I said, "I'm her dad. It's fine." And they're like, "Oh, okay."
That's cute.
I'm here to serve. I had the pinky up there. I just kind of stuck out there when I was doing. Pinky's up. Hey, Kentucky Derby this weekend, right?
Yes.
Should have got some mint juleps ready. Instead, I'm just drinking the bourbon without the mint. Got ice though.
Oh, maybe it was my fault because it worked once I turned my phone on.
Put you two in the same room together. Dangerous.
Lord, we are
dangerous.
Yes, we're dangerous. That's for sure. But we travel well together. We have a good time.
Never a dull moment.
Yes, we have a great time. Oh, Armor's giving us a new moon on April 27th. And then Venus conjunct. See, this when they talk about all this, I really wish I knew what that meant. Venus conjunct Saturn and Neptune. Like, that is not significant to me. I do not know what that means, but I wish I did. Would love to get you hooked up with blockchain. Let's write a contract for you to sell using the Theta Network. Oh, this is our friend that they have a project that they're writing or creating on Theta, but I guess they do
cool.
Astrology too. That's really interesting.
And the Jetsons' dog name was Astro, right?
That's right.
Oh, it's popped in there. Stay Puft Marshmallow Man thoughts. Just popped in there.
St. Jerome loves Android. I do not love Android.
Well, you better love androids because you're going to be living with them. You're going to be making omelets for you. Hopefully not strangling you in your sleep.
No. That's funny.
No thanks. I'll pass. The dogs are enough. Can't have an android lurking, shutting itself off. You know, imagine you go to bed and it's like, okay, turn off now. And it just stands there, shuts off. It's like, how do you know it's not going to wake up while you're sleeping? What's it going to do? Ugh.
Yeah, that would be scary.
Yeah, it would. I mean, if I can't overpower something, I don't want it in the house. That's the way I look at it. Get out.
Scary.
Fucking robots. Robot dogs that Boston Dynamics makes. See those videos?
Those are creepy, yeah.
Geez.
Well, and did you see there were some robots, I think it was in Japan, but I'm not really sure, but there were these robots that were working somewhere and the people were like interacting with them. And then they started feeling sad for the robot because they were overworking the robot. And so they
You feel sad for your laptop? No, you get pissed off because you got to restart this stupid thing.
Well, so they started talking to the robot about like, man, that's terrible that they're working you so hard, whatever. And so the robot started calculating like a solution. And so the robot
they unionize and
threw itself down the stairs and killed itself.
Come on, man.
That was the way it solved how to not be overworked, was to kill itself. And so then they started.
How ironic. We kill ourselves working and it kills itself because
then they were like worried that like then the people were going to see that example or whatever. So it was just a problem. Anyway.
Sometimes you can overthink things, I guess. You know, when you got a big brain like that.
Yeah.
Too many calculations. Keep it simple. That's what I mean. This gets too complicated. Just get the iPhone. It'll be fine.
It's fine. Oh gosh. Oh no.
Get the ribbon. Wear the ribbon.
Wear the ribbon. No. Okay. Let's see. So I kind of teased right before we got on, and I said bats will swing in the spring.
Yes, you did.
I've been waiting for this.
Batter up. Oh no.
I've been waiting for this.
Vampire bats.
For quite a while. You guys know.
Hanging
I think
back.
we've all been waiting for this. Everybody's been saying, where are the arrests? Where are
I'm
the
ready.
And what thing am I on? So hopefully I can find all the right links. Okay. So there is a thing called misprision of treason. It's a form of treason whenever a judge acts where he or she does not have jurisdiction to act. The judge is engaged in an act or acts of treason. Any judge or attorney who does not report the above judges for treason as required by law may themselves be guilty of misprision of treason. Just giving a little education. This might be handy to have this knowledge as we move forward this spring. Okay, then remember that Trump played baseball. He's quite famous for having a good arm and all this kind of stuff. So this is a girl that I've been following. She hits a lot of comms, LIZSFG. She's got a great avatar, very hot. So this is a JAG attorney that's been flying on plane 17. Class is back in session. Looks like it's time for everyone to find out who failed. I've heard treason doesn't play quite as well. So then, let's see. This is last week, Clemson's HC Dabo Swinney's brother. You got to help me with this because I'm not a sports person, so I don't know who these people are. But anyway, Henry was charged with sexual exploitation of a minor. The brothers were raised outside Birmingham, Alabama. Dabo was on Bama's 92 NC team coached by Gene Stallings. He also coached on Mike Dubo's staff until they were all fired over Dubo's sexual harassment allegation. Days prior to the arrest, Trump tagged this person, Alabama, Roll Tide, number 17. Welcome aboard, AG Alan Wilson. He's a JAG attorney, meaning he can practice military law. So following college, he joined the South Carolina National Guard. You guys have seen all this National Guard stuff going on. They've been showing the National Guard and showing Trump with the National Guard. Been all this news about National Guard. He's currently a colonel in the Judge Advocate General Corps. Wilson served as an intern in the Attorney General's office under Charlie Condon. After law school, he worked for Judge Mark H. Westbrook of the South Carolina Circuit Court. Wilson later served as an assistant solicitor, as an assistant attorney general. 2009, he moved to the private sector and started working at the law firm Willoughby and Hoffer in Columbia, South Carolina. Then it goes in here and talks about this, ties the Allen together. Can you confirm? Here's another Q post. Q, can you confirm the 17 regarding jerseys? When I asked yesterday for confirmation. So the 17 is a jersey. And then, of course, we saw Trump tag the number 17 up here, a jersey, Roll Tide.
Well, and to interrupt real quick, I think when Alabama won the national championship under his first term, I think they presented him with a number 17 Alabama jersey at the ceremony, to honor them for winning.
Okay.
Pretty sure there's a picture of that.
So then they're talking about what is a Judge Advocate General. The Judge Advocate General Corps, also known as JAG Corps, is military justice branch or specialty of the U.S. Air Force, National Guard, Coast, Marine Corps, Navy officers serving in the JAG Corps are typically called Judge Advocates. Judge Advocates are responsible for administrative law, government contracting, civilian, and military personnel law, the law of war, and international relations, environmental law, etc. They also serve as prosecutors for the military when conducting courts martial. I'm going to go on a little bit more, but one other thing, when I read the NDAA, I know I'm wearing you guys out with this thing back in 2017 or 2019. Was it 2019, 2018? Dang it. Trump's last NDAA in his first.
He would have been, he left office in 2021, January.
Okay. So whenever that was, that last Christmas that he wrote the NDAA.
Probably 2020.
Okay. So it was been Christmas 2020. That one where they had that largest transfer of military power and all that. They said that they were going to bring what they typically do. Military trials are typically closed off from the public. They do not let the public see military trials because it's the military's business, is the military's business, whatever. But they said that they were specifically going to bring sexual assaults into the public arena for the public to be able to see the trials. And so if this is the start of this, we're going to start seeing more of this. So then here she brings some more. And to me, this is the bats will swing in the spring. Notice it's a baseball team. And remember when Trump said bats will swing in the spring? I thought it was going to be Hillary and the vampires, but these are people assaulting children. So nobody gives up. Everything will turn to shit. So then,
isn't Lindsey Graham a JAG attorney? I think he might be.
really,
might explain some things. I don't know. Maybe. I think he is. Daddy O would know, since we're talking about Clemson. He loves Clemson. I'm just kidding. He hates orange. Hates the color orange.
memo leaked Friday that has everybody decoding State of the Union, blah. Okay, I think that was it. It was just here's Dan's giving. Oh no, I got distracted here. It's mostly just this part. That's the number 17 and the baseball, and this guy announced Pickens man of sexual exploitation of a minor. So South Carolina Attorney General Alan Wilson arrested of a Pickens man one. So I think that's what this is starting. Sexual harassment allegations. Where's the one where they were saying that it was, hold on, I didn't get, arrest them. See, I get in these threads.
Down those rabbit holes.
Yeah. Oh gosh, here they go with the red heifer thing.
The red heifer. Once the red heifer comes back, look out. The white buffalo's back. The red heifer's back. Makes good eating. I wouldn't know.
Deliver us from evil, the marker, who financed 9/11.
Only $2.3 trillion missing on the day before 9/11. Oh, I could rounding error. It's no big deal.
Yeah, that was
$2.3 trillion in 2001. Unaccounted for.
That was the other big thing everybody's talking about is the interview with Tucker and
Catherine Austin Fitts.
and Fitz.
The red button. Who's going to hit the red button? I'll hit the red button. Give me that red button. I'll hit the red button.
Well, and who has a red button on their desk?
Is it on the Resolute desk?
Trump has a red button.
Oh, there you go.
Desk. Yeah.
The bat phone.
Yeah.
What this world needs is Batman right now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Yeah, make sure you check out that interview with Cliff and Jenny. It
was a great interview. Yeah, I did watch it, and I love that he completely humanized himself at the end, because he's not a machine, he's not a robot, and I love seeing that from people. I love to see the raw emotion, and just it was nice. I mean, I really liked it. I mean, it was pretty cool to see. For all the reasons.
Good stuff.
It's great to see him happy, because he can be cantankerous. I mean, he admits it, and he's a little edgy, and but it's good to see him happy. It's just wonderful. I mean, the guy deserves it. He deserves some happiness. He's put out a lot of good vibes for everybody. A lot of us, all of us. Shoot, I remember listening to him in like 2001-ish on Coast to Coast AM. Hey, why?
Cut that out. Yeah, I know my mom's been following him for a long time, and Bix even longer. Or maybe I have that reversed. I don't know. One of those guys, for both of them, for a really long time, and he's done
all these cosmic bus stop people that we've encountered and reconnected with on the journey. You know what? Next time you're not gonna cosmic bus stop. No.
Next time
come back and it'll she'll be like I don't know. like a sister or something, next time I come back. And I'm like, oh, stop. Just stop.
Yeah.
Be a twin. That's what she'll be. She'll be my twin the next rodeo. I'll be like, come on, stop.
Yeah.
I know. Just leave me alone.
Harassing you.
Anyway.
Good stuff.
We choose our path.
Clearly. There have been a lot of arrests. There were like 700 picked up out of North Carolina, another 800 out of Georgia. Let's see, what's this one? This one is Alabama.
Alabama.
John Redd did a really great like live stream. You can find it on his YouTube or his Twitter thing, and it's safe to watch with your. In fact, I recommend people watch it with their like teenage kids. It talks about how predators, groomers will start on like gaming platforms, and they'll pretend to be kids that are their age, and will like gift them a skin for a game or a gun in a game or a whatever, V-Bucks or whatever, and then they'll try to move them to another platform, and then or they'll try to get their phone number or whatever. And because kids, like, to them that's normal and that's how you meet people, and just like they're like, yeah, that's my friend. Well, no, that's not your friend. You've never met them in real life. You don't know who that is. You don't know who that could be some 60-year-old man. You don't know who that is. And then they will, flatter them, whatever. And kids don't have that part of their brain developed to be able to understand consequences. It's like, would you put your 15-year-old in a bar downtown at midnight? No, because they don't have that emotional development,
right?
Maturity.
All these other predators out there know that, and
right.
Here they are preying.
So they'll get them to do something that the kid might even think is innocent, harmless, and with this generative, I can't remember what he called it, something AI, they can take a totally
generative AI
picture and make it like, there's this one guy, this is a true story, that he went around Disneyland and took completely innocent pictures of children and made horrible pornographic like AI with these children's with like real kids' faces,
right?
And put it up
on. You've seen the AI out there with Trump and and Putin and all the little videos and scenes and Netanyahu and all this stuff, and it's just like, and now we've got. We got to hash that out going forward, what that means, because it's not real, but it kind of is. And so, people get busted all the time for having hard drives full of, bad things, like real stuff, videos. And then now if it's AI generated, where's a lot of its intent? Really, when it comes down to it, what's the intention here? But still, that's an issue.
These kids are killing themselves.
Sure they are, because you think about it. Yeah, they put it out there, and the next thing you know, everybody thinks, oh yeah, that's real. You hear a rumor start. It's like,
right. Well, they'll send these videos to these kids, and even though the child did not do that,
right,
the child sees this video and they say, well, I'm going to send this to your parents if you don't send me more or do this or meet me or this or that.
I'll hurt your parents, or I'll hurt your cat or something you love. You know what I mean? And then they're just like,
or I'm going to send this to your whole school.
Right.
And even though it's not real, it looks real to the child. They're so horrified.
Everybody else will think it's real.
That then the child either goes and meets them and gets kidnapped, or the child gets harmed, or these horrible situations. And so just telling them, they said that like, if you have this conversation with your child, to say like, this is happening to other children. So if something like this happens to you, tell me, because I will believe you. Because so many
exactly
don't tell their parents because they think their parents are never going to believe them.
Yes, exactly. And that's why we beat the innocence out of them, because it's we don't believe, oh, you see this, leprechaun, or you see this gnome, and it's like, shut up, that's all myth and made up. It's like, well, is it Is it? I mean, who knows what they're seeing and what they're talking, and it's just like, and so you kill that magic of childhood by not believing and stamp it out of them. But, it's another train of thought. But it's like, yeah, I mean, you got to believe them. I mean, you listen to them. I mean, think about it. You used to be there, and, your parents are like, oh, that's nothing. No, and you're like, well, you don't believe me? And it's just, we can't, I don't know, we got to listen. We got to be open.
Yeah.
Got to have the conversations.
And we have to spend the time. That's
Yeah.
the other thing. He was like, sit down and go through their platform. And I've done this with Cannon. He doesn't like it, but I'm like, who is this on your game?
Mm-hmm.
And he can't tell me who it is and that he's met them. Like, it has to be like a cousin, someone you go to school with, that you've met them in person. He has to tell me how he's met them and that he knows who they are and, how he's met them, that he, it's a real person. Otherwise, you block that person or that entity. And then
that's probably a better word.
Yeah, because it's just too scary. They do not need to have access to them, and then, I know we have to be able to like move through this world and get there eventually. You can't live in a bubble the whole time, but we can do it in stages and we can do it a little at a time. And it's just, I don't know. You got to get there a little bit at a time.
We got to learn together. I mean, we got to navigate. It's the one thing we can do as people. We have to be able to adapt. I think that's the most important thing right now, is being able to adapt, because changes are coming very rapidly. And we can adapt. I mean, but it's just, we got to break free from the old traditions of, this is the way it is and the way it has to be. And it's like, well, it ain't necessarily that way. And I mean, it's coming fast and furious. So we have to be engaged in it. We have to definitely, have the conversations, and get through it together. I mean, if we don't, then, it's going to be a rough ride, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. And there is, like, Skullcap saying, I can honestly say that the naivete my parents created, the environment for me when I was a kid, protection, surveillance was truly facilitated for a spectacular childhood. By a naive kid is whatever. And I'm not saying, like, because I think it can be a dangerous thing to, like, not prepare your children for the world at all. And then boom, oh, by the way, now you're an adult and here's the whole world for you. Like, there has to be a process where you grow and expose and educate your children for the world. But that is a process, and you do it with guardrails, and everybody's got to do what's right for their family and for their children's maturity level too. So it's just got to be what it is. But I would recommend everybody to go check that out on John Rich's channel. He's a country music singer, Big and Rich.
Big and Rich.
Yeah. Good guys. So
we just got copyright infringed or whatever it is by saying that.
Oh, I'm sure.
All we need to do is just say the name. Just say it.
Just
Big and
say
Rich.
that.
Kenny Chesney.
That too.
George Strait.
All the things. Oh, here it is. This is the one. It's known to protect. That's the episode, if you're looking for that. Oh, this crazy thing. I don't even want to talk about that. That stupid Trinde Aragua guy. Now his wife is saying that she is mad and she's filing for a protective order. And
I don't even know what's happening with that.
It's such a political game. I mean, it's just so stupid. Another order was signed, unleashing America's law enforcement to pursue criminals, object innocent citizens. I mean, this is where you're seeing all these arrests come in. So I think that'll be.
That's why I love that you do the show, because I don't want to do my feed live.
You don't?
No.
Oh, you don't want to have to work the screen and do all this?
Yeah, I don't want to have to do all that stuff. You see all the degenerate stuff. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, There was a major
You can go see it. It's public. You know, it's all out there.
there was a major earthquake and threat of tsunami coming in off of Argentina. So we could see that. That should be interesting.
All that American beef from Argentina. Look out.
Let's see.
All those Nazis down there.
This was the heist post I was trying to share with Skullcap. Because Fortnite just got off their heist series, the gold heist.
Yeah.
They're crazy girl. There's the Hillary Clinton body video. More Doge stuff. This was crazy. He was talking about this, which I know everybody's tired of hearing about the waste, but he literally talks about that they were in the Department of Education. So in child welfare and in the Department of Education, it has one of the largest budgets because, they justified it's for the children, whatever. They were literally renting out Caesar's Palace and Stadium for parties. And then he talks about panda parties, but they don't even have a token panda they can show him. And I'm like, that's
I know what that symbolism is.
code for child.
Mm-hmm.
You guys know.
I know what it is. Yeah.
A lot of great work at the Treasury this week. One of the crazy things with regards to the Treasury is that when a payment is made, and the computers at the Treasury actually pay about $5 trillion per year, like crazy amounts, there was formerly not a budget code on there. So if a payment was made, you didn't know actually what it was for. It could have been for anything. Yeah. There was a $4 billion COVID fund in the Department of Education, and there was no receipts required. So people could just draw down on it. And when people looked into it, this wasn't us, this was before us. They found that money was being used to rent out Caesar's Palace for parties, rent out stadiums, et cetera. And so the one change that DOGE made with the Department of Education is we had the simple requirement that if you draw down money, you must first upload a receipt. That was the only change that was made. You must upload your receipt. And upon doing so,
yes,
nobody drew down any money anymore.
Yes, but we didn't say that we'd check the receipt. You could send a fake receipt. You could send a picture of your dog. Anything. And but as soon as we asked for anything at all, suddenly the requests were like, oh, we don't need it anymore. Huh, that's interesting.
They were renting Caesar's Palace.
Yes, they were like basically partying on the taxpayer money.
Stadiums.
Yes.
Leasing stadiums.
Leasing stadiums.
For what?
For parties, basically.
For parties.
Yes.
That's a big party.
It's a big party.
You'd think if you were stealing, you'd start small.
They do start small. But then what happens is over the years, so generally the fraud starts out small and they try to hide it. But then year after year, if nobody stops the fraud, it gets more and more brazen. And every year it gets bigger until they're literally renting out stadiums. Like
what's that, $1 million to rent out a stadium?
Fraud in flagrante delicto. Okay, we're talking at scale.
Just disgusting.
It's insane. I mean, it's absolutely insane. I mean, trillions of dollars. It's nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Just meanwhile, everybody's sweating paying their taxes, and they don't even need the money. They don't even need it because they create it. They've got their own casino. They can just produce as many chips as they want. Boom, put them on the table. Do whatever they want. Wow.
China quietly exempts U.S. goods from tariffs, covering around $40 billion worth of imports in an effort to soften the blow of the trade war and its own economy. And that's what this guy was saying, that no one's talking about this, but
page during this tariff war, look on YouTube for the page China Observer. These are a group of Chinese individuals that own that site. They live in China, and they are telling you what their media and what our media isn't telling our citizens. Because according to a lot of the people that watch my videos, oh, China's winning. They ain't being affected the way the United States are. These individuals are sharing firsthand videos of their manufacturing facilities, of their docks, which are filled with hundreds of thousands of cargo containers that were brought back to the ports of China. Hundreds of manufacturing facilities that employed thousands of people completely shut down. They're putting recordings up. They are showing these CEOs, owners of these businesses that had just finished constructing multi-billion-dollar manufacturing facilities completely shut down without any employee in sight. They're even reporting that tens of thousands of Chinese citizens are now unemployed due to the tariffs, let alone their housing market crashes. Now all of their workers are jobless. They're even sharing testimonials of down to their janitors, down to the people that clean their shops, their warehouses, saying, we just finished cleaning the facility for the last time, and now we have no more work. Contracts that many of these businesses had with American assets have been completely revoked. Millions of orders have been canceled, and complete warehouses stocked to capacity with supplies that were returned right when the United States hit China with the 145% tariff. Thousands of cargo ships returning back to the Chinese ports with goods that were meant to be delivered to the United States. Now there's nowhere to send these things. But what is happening is the Chinese president and government does not want to show weakness, but yet they just recently announced that China will no longer raise any other tariffs, even if the United States is to retaliate. Why do you think that is? Because they're feeling the pressure that they're not telling anybody about.
So that is what, when Trump said China needs us more than we need them.
Oh, they do. 100%, because I mean, the biggest fear I think China has is of its own people. They've got so many people that need to be employed. They cannot have them, coming with pickaxes, so to speak. That was always a balancing act because it's a very diverse, group of people, that's not all along the coastline. I mean, there's a lot of people in China, and if they're not fed, man, you got problems. And, and we've, the vampires have been running this corporation, the U.S., for so long. They outsourced inflation to China, built all these factories and all this stuff, outsourced our jobs, outsourced everything to China, built it up. Well, might be getting rug pulled, I guess, at this point, because they need to keep those people working. I mean, they built cities with nobody in it just to keep people going. I mean, to keep making things. And so, man, if that happens, and they got an energy problem too, and that's the biggest thing I think in this whole reshuffling of the deck. The energy is going to be key. I mean, who's got it? Who's got the energy? Well, I mean, we're in a pretty good spot, honestly. I mean, got the gold, got the energy, kind of got everything we need here. And so if it came down to it, I think we'll be fine. The rest of the world, maybe not so much. A lot of areas, in China especially, they've got issues. Definitely have some issues to work out.
Look how quickly we were able to retool factories during COVID.
Right. I was thinking World War II. I mean, and then COVID. I mean, exactly. That was kind of a test run in a way for a lot of different things. And so, yeah, I mean, it could be done.
Yeah.
It could be done.
I mean, so I've been doing this thrifting business, and there is so much gluttony in the world, and people die. And, not to mention in Cliff's data, it talked about the great die-off, or whatever he called it. I don't even remember what it was called now in his data, but that was going to be part of housing going down, was because people were going to be passing away, and there was going to be this, which I don't know if that's from people passing away or from, now remember when BlackRock bought up all the houses to falsely inflate the housing market? Those big corporations were buying tons of, and Chinese were coming into the US and buying property. Well, now I know in Arkansas,
farmland,
and they're pushing in Oklahoma and several other states. They're pushing in Texas, I think, as well, that China cannot own land or property. And Missouri, the AG, I think the AG Go watch the interview of the Missouri AG on Sean Ryan. I think he is going to be, Sean Ryan says, well, you know, you could have been or should have been the United States AG. What would you have done if you were the United States AG? And he's like, oh no, she's doing a great job. And yeah, well, and then he talks about things that as a state AG, he has more power.
Absolutely.
State AG than if he were a Fed AG.
Absolutely, because really, what powers do they really have unless it's in the, again, jurisdiction? You're talking about judges. I mean, what powers do they really have constitutionally out of DC? Really nothing but 10 square miles, honestly. I mean, you know, the states are sovereign. They volunteered and created the government. We, the people, do establish, you know, and ordain. I mean, we ordain the government. The states did that. The states are sovereign. They can do whatever they want.
Well,
whatever they want.
In fact, the Missouri AG got a judgment for $24 billion. Oh, I don't know the exact amount now. It's been several days and I can't remember the exact amount. So don't hold me to the dollar amount, but it was something $1 billion against China. And Sean goes, yeah, but you're never going to collect on a judgment of that. And he said, well, no, I can't make them come here and pay it, but I can claw back that property. I can go in and I can get a judge.
Hey, all those hog farms
to see
guess what?
Property. And so that is a way that we can take back any Chinese owned American property.
Yes, you're going to have to get a gold card for $5 million, and then maybe you can play in the casino. I don't know.
I'm just saying it can happen on a state level, and so it's a brilliant interview. I think that's where, and that's what I kept seeing this stuff happening. And I watched it in Oklahoma. There were deputy sheriffs that were talking about arresting people, and he said, and it's not just gonna, or it won't just extend to Oklahoma. We are working with outside of Oklahoma or whatever. And this Missouri AG was saying, well, other states can look at what I'm doing and model it to their, adjust it to their state laws, and replicate it in their states. And so that's what I think is happening.
That was the whole concept of the states, you know, being little incubators, you know, to where, hey, if it works over there, we can try it here. You know, it's experimental. And definitely. States are very powerful. Counties are very powerful. I mean, you know, the closer we get to the people, the more power there is. And, you know, we gotta understand that, though, you know, just understand that. I mean, we are the power. Always have been. It's like Wizard of Oz thinking here, you know, it's like you had the power all along. You just didn't realize it.
I don't know, that kind of stuff. When I get to watching that kind of stuff, that's the stuff that I want to share with the community, and like, let them be encouraged, let them go. And then you go check it out yourself, listen for yourself, see if that resonates with you. Is that true to you? And then can you share that in your community? Can you get that information to your AG in your state? Hey, this is what they're doing in Missouri. What can we do here? Can we take back the Chinese, owned land in our own state? Can we do that in our state? So I think that those are the kind of
we definitely don't have our best interests in mind. I mean, every corporation that has to go over there or goes over there because they're kind of forced to go over there to compete, you know, cheaper labor and all that through policies, they steal all the intellectual property. I mean, that's part of the deal. It's like they're in your shit. I mean, and that's just the way it is. And it's like, that's not, no, that's got to get unwound. We've had too many sellouts as presidents. Again, you know, after Kennedy, you know, you had too many people selling us out. And it's just enough. We're done. Done with it.
Either Sunday or Monday was Intellectual Property Day. I shared that with Reggie, and I think we did a post over there on Very Dow to celebrate that, because that is something that is like, that's part of your constitutional right, your name, image, and likeness, and all the things you create.
The art you create, the music you create, everything that you create, you know, the words, you know, everything that comes out of you that you put out there. I mean, that's you. And then it just gets hijacked and stolen, and that's what they do. And they don't defend you because, you know, they're vampires, and it's like, it's another game. Just done with it. And I think a lot of people are done with it, and that's why I'm hopeful, is because I think enough people, again, American Revolution, what was it, 3%? Nobody else wanted to go to war. But, you know, you got a devoted minority, you know, with fire burning inside of them that say, enough, we're done. And most people are followers, and they're, okay, you know, lead the way. And it just, it doesn't take that many people, you know. It really doesn't. And that's why I'm here. Born for this moment, baby.
Well, and I love what
Revolution me harder, baby.
That's right. And I love what, you know, our friend I Am, that I do my shows with him on Monday, and he's really opened my eyes to, you know, we have the tools that, you know, cryptocurrency has brought us, and our friends in silver and gold, you know, we've always had the tools, and we are the energy, but he's brought, opened my eyes to this agorism, which once again, it's always been there, but we can start forming with our communities these parallel systems where we can peacefully choose to find our pathways to exchange with each other in community, you know, and like you say, opt out of their casino.
That's
vampire casinos. We
you
just
quit giving it energy. You quit feeding it. You quit feeding it. And, you know, I always use the analogy of a tree. You know, you get an old tree, it's a big tree, really not productive anymore. However, you know, you got shoots coming out from the roots, you know, they're coming out all over. You build new trees, the new trees come up, you know, and use that same root system while the other one dies. And it's like, you know, it refreshes itself and renews itself. I mean, it's still good underground, you know, it's still got a basis that's good, that still nourishes. It's just that, you know, you have to nourish it in a different way. It has to grow in another way. And that's where we're at, I think, you know, at a cosmic level, you know. It's just, you know, we've got this old tree that's like, okay, let's run its course. You know, it's run its course. But we can grow out of it, you know, and renew ourselves. And that's what we need to do. It just takes the first step. I mean, we just have to take action. At, you know, any little thing makes a difference. Any little thing. And it could be just inspiring somebody to act, you know, and that person does far greater things than you could ever do. But they might not have done it if you didn't put them on that path and awaken them in some way. And so you all have something to offer. We all have something to give. And it's just knowing that you are participating in this and you need to engage it, as just like the dog on my leg right now. If only you could.
very engaged.
I could, yeah, you could make a freaking live stream of me all day long. But it's that's what we need to do, though. I mean, you know, don't live a life of quiet desperation. You know, at some point you got to break out. At some point you just have to be who you are and live like you know you should be living, and with no regrets and no fear, and move forward and put yourself out there. And somebody's going to be inspired by it, and you have no idea how you're going to impact somebody else and what that ripple effect, that butterfly effect, what that does. You just have to do it. You have value. We all do.
Yes.
So don't hold back. You know, you're here. Do it now. I know you're doing it now. This girl, I'll tell you what, get out.
Man, all the gold and silver guys are talking about like crazy numbers of gold and silver. It's kind of exciting.
Win Litecoin, May. I'm telling you, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it.
About that. Is that a feeling because of leading up to Litecoin Summit?
I don't know. I think the stars are starting to align. You know, you got to stop. I'm gonna have to let this dog out if she keeps this up. But no, I just everything is everything is. I just feel it's the right time. I mean, you know, again, I don't want to lean or hang the hat on an ETF or anything like that. But, I mean, those kinds of things are coming. You know, that mainstream it more and people understand what it is. I've been using it for what it is: sound money for the digital age. If I need to, unbelievable. I mean, right as I'm kind of getting into a little rant.
I know.
Stealing my energy, dog. Come on. But no, I've had that gut feeling, and I've said that on the Hash It Out shows. I mean, you know, months ago, to where it's like I always felt like May was something. May was something. May, you know, something was going to happen in May. And everything points to that. I mean, it all makes sense. I mean, the hash rate is up, the usage is up. It's the most used coin on BitPay and all the other platforms, the payment platforms. I'm going to let her out while I talk.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's not, it's just there. It's just right there. You know, it's just like this golden treasure, you know, just sitting there waiting, you know, and it's more silver than gold, but it's sound money for the digital age. I mean, it's just, it fulfills all the things. You've got privacy, and, you know, you see a lot of, what was it? I saw the European Union, I think I sent it to you, 2027. They're saying now that, hey, you know, you can't have any privacy coins. You know, they don't want that.
Mm-hmm.
They want to be able to track and trace everything that you do. And, you know, something like Litecoin is not a privacy coin per se, so it doesn't fall under that radar. Not that it matters anyway, you know, they can't stop us from using stuff, but it's one of those, it's just like Bitcoin in a lot of ways, to where it's like, it's out there, it's a public blockchain, anybody can run a miner, anybody can participate and validate transactions. There's nothing that can stop that. It's completely decentralized from that aspect. But you have optional privacy, and it's not layer 2 to where it interferes with intellectual property. It's still on the same blockchain level, the first layer, and it's optional. You don't have to use it, you know, but when you do, you can send a private transaction.
Right, that keeps it compliant. So the significance of that is that it keeps it compliant with a lot of regulation and all that kind of stuff.
And so once they anoint it, you know, and the institutions say, oh, now we have an ETF, and, you know, it's in, you know, and it's like, okay, but it's got this privacy option that nobody's talking about, you know, and you have that option to just, I can send you something and nobody knows where it came from. You don't even know where it came from, other than me telling you that it showed up from me, you know, nobody knows where it comes from. And that's what it should be. We should have privacy of money. We should be able to, you know, use our energy any way we want, you know, and not have to ask for permission. That's the whole idea, and that's why we have these tools.
Yeah. No barking. Rebel.
So I don't know. I think May. I don't know why. It's just my intuition. Bell of the spring ball.
I'm okay with it staying down. To me, it's one of those things like
sell your house, and then you can buy some silver and Litecoin.
Not just that, but I like having, you know, they complain about the volatility of crypto, you know, but to me, it's really the reflection of we're seeing a weak dollar. If you look at the Dixie chart or whatever,
fall apart.
You're seeing the dollar, the weakness of the dollar, which is part of Trump's plan, because he's getting ready before July. They have to refinance almost 70% of the United States debt.
Mm-hmm.
And so they want a weak dollar, and they want the Fed rates to drop, which is what he's calling for. He's tweeting, well, he doesn't tweet, he truths about it. And you're seeing the dollar, the Dixie, go down. And so all of that plays into the favor of having to renegotiate this debt. 70% of the United States debt.
It's phenomenal.
So it's all, you know, but this is what he does. You know, he's a businessman.
He's been put in charge of the bankruptcy. I mean, he's overseeing a bankruptcy of the United States corporation, and we'll see how it plays out. But yeah, that's definitely what's happening. And I mean, take those fiat out of nothing magic creations that really that's all it is a little magic trick. Take those and get something real with it. I mean, get something useful with it. Get something that, you know, you're going to be able to use. That's what sound money is. Something that works when the government fails. I mean, that's all sound money is. I mean, you know, gold, silver, you know, good crypto. I mean, you know, it will work when government fails. And you want to have those types of things. You know, you don't want to be looking at the screen and saying, oh man, the stock market went up. I've got this many shares. And over the weekend, you're like, okay, but can I get some walking around money, you know, out of those shares? You know, can't really access it. You know, maybe Monday come back and, you know, it's like Blimpie with a cheeseburger. You know, it's just like, you know, come back later, you know, get the broomstick and then come back and see me. And it's just like, you might feel wealthy, but you're really not wealthy. I mean, you have the wealth right here. You know, first of all, it's inside of you. You have all the wealth, but it's just the closer your energy is to you, the more wealthy you are. is really what it comes down to. So, hold these things in your possession, have those things when you need them, and don't look at the dollar price. Look at what it does when the dollar fails is the most important thing, because it will fail. Confederate notes failed. I mean, every experiment with money has failed, and when a government has taken it over. They can't take over gold. They can't take over silver as much as they try, because if you hold it, you can still use it. It's stored energy that you can use. And, it's the same with these cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Litecoin, Digibyte, Vertcoin, all the, Dogecoin, all of it. It's just choose your Bud Light, choose your Miller Lite, whatever you want to drink.
That's what I guess that's where I got a little off topic there, or a little distracted. But seeing the stability in Litecoin, that it's not crazy volatile.
You're right. That's what you want in money, though.
Consistent, and I can kind of trust that. I think it's just pretty much going to go up from here. I feel the same way about silver. It's not very volatile. It's my little silver turtle.
Got a floor.
My, pretty I can just kind of trust it. Andy talks about this all the time. You want to look at it as a safe place, a safe haven for your wealth. You want it to be a place where you put your wealth, knowing that it's going to be there for you. It's not about number go up.
No, it's not.
Litecoin is about utility. I know it works. Like Charlie Lee says, Litecoin, it works.
It just works.
It just works. I can send messages. I know the NFT project works. I know the privacy works. It just works. And I'm not going to have the volatility. I'm not going to have to worry that I lost my ass. And then I can't touch it for, 2 years because, it's so volatile. You know what I mean? I know I can use it. It's going to work, and it's not going to be volatile. So those are great things, I think, about Litecoin. And I think that's another reason it is the people's coin, and you can use it as money. So to me, all of those things are great about Litecoin. And I feel the same way about silver. When there is a crisis, you want that silver turtle. You want a safe haven, because the market has dropped out of everywhere else, and you went to the safest.
It can't go to zero. I mean, it cannot be devalued, because, at that point, there's nothing more valuable than something you have and that you can use. I mean, whatever it is, use the example of chicken eggs. I mean, what, you get a chicken, you get a golden egg producer, I mean, it's just like perfect protein. And, it's so important to understand that what is real value. And so many people don't understand that, and they got to get your head around it. I mean, because empires come and go, and that's just the way it is. And it always happens. And it's just, it's your energy. You're putting your life force into something. You want to put it into something that when you need to use it, it's going to work. And then that is the most important thing. You're not going to care about what the dollar price is. It's not going to matter. It's like, okay, what can I do with this? We're going to get with this, because you're going to be able to get something with it. And at that point, who knows what you can get with it, because nobody else has it, and they want it, and they need it, because they know they can transact with it.
Well, and it's so funny for me because, we've talked about this before, of course, offline, but our going through this journey, our values have changed so much. And when we first got into crypto, we were very much normies and whatever. And we wanted different things. And now I think, depending on, if we were to go back through 2021 again, I think things would look so different for Charlie and I, and the choices that we would make.
But it's all part of the journey. It's all, you are a culmination of all the decisions and all the events that have happened in your past that have made you who you are today. And, you wouldn't be the same person. I wouldn't be the same person. If I had made decisions in 2017 and 2021, I wouldn't be here talking possibly. I wouldn't have this. I wouldn't be doing Spaces tonight. I wouldn't, have this conversation. I would have met so many beautiful people, because, I ought to just said, F it, I'm going off to an island, and been selfish and drinking, freaking Mai Tais on the beach. And it's like, but that's not my journey. It's not who I am. And, and it's just, it's all, It is what it is. You know, you're here for a reason right now, and now is the time that you take action. Now is the time to do what you need to do and fulfill that soul contract that we all, you know, signed, you know, to drop down here. And it's just, that's, none of that matters. I mean, it does matter, but it doesn't matter going forward. We make our future right now with everything that we do.
Yeah, it's kind of wild.
Right now.
Right
Every
now.
day, every breath. Right now.
Yeah. What'd you think of the Mike Waltz shakeout?
That was interesting. Him and the underling.
I thought it was so funny to watch. There's an old interview with Donald Trump, and
he's going to waltz out the door.
I always think it's Barbara Walters, and it's not Barbara Walters. And
deep throat.
What?
Wasn't she deep throat, supposedly, in the whole Watergate thing? I thought it was Barbara Walters, wasn't it? I could be wrong. Just like I said, blimping, it was wimpy. You know, I can't. I've forgotten more than I've ever learned. I had that conversation with a guy, you know, today when I was doing support call. Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
No, it wasn't Barbara Walters. Was it? No, it was the other one. It was, who's the other one? Oh, no, it wasn't Barbara Walters. It was the other, the blonde girl.
I don't know. It's like this old
lady. 60 Minutes.
Had hair set.
Gosh darn it.
But he's
Somebody
up in
knows
this like
See,
really bougie apartment in Manhattan with like carpet on the wall or something. It's terrible.
Forest, not the trees. That's me. Anyway, sorry.
No, you're good. Oh, I don't know if I don't think it's Diane Sawyer, but anyway.
I think it is.
I think it is Jane
Poulet. It is. It's Diane Sawyer.
You think it's Diane Sawyer?
Yes, I know it is.
Okay. Well, I don't know. Maybe it is. So
Barbara Walters.
And he says, like, I really wish, because he's talking about how everybody loves him and no, he's so fabulous and whatever. And he says, I really wish I would lose so bad. I wish sometime I could lose so bad to really know who my real friends are. And then, you know, he had the loss in 2020, whatever. Mm-hmm. But then he's even having these things where like I think about the General Flynn thing, because there's a big upset right now in the truther community. Like, is General Flynn bad or good? And they're trying
that's been going on for a while. Yep.
And trying to say that Patrick Byrne's bad or that Van der Steel is bad, and trying to say that Laura Loomer's bad or good. And there's a whole list of like, there's these two camps, who's infiltrating who. And I'm like, you know what? Just put your nose down and do your work. Stop worrying about who's on whose camp and trying to line up next to who and who. Just do your work, you know? And then you don't have to worry about who's on whose team.
Exactly. You know? Quit aligning yourself. You know, align yourself with the source, and that's what they're trying to hide. That's what we're talking about. Align yourself with who you are and why you're here. And, know your truth and what your path is. So I always say, trust yourself. I mean, you got to look inward. I mean, you really do. I mean, you have all the tools. You are the big toolbox. Some toolboxes are bigger than others in this world. But I mean, you really do. I mean, I really believe that. And, in my own life, and that's why I say that, and that's why I preach it, because it is so true. When you know who you are, love who you are, forgive yourself. I mean, and then just say, hey, you know what? I got the answers. And, because you got the hotline to God, I'm just saying, pick it up, and just start talking and get connected. Go hug that tree. I mean, there's something to that. Get grounded. Talk about ley lines and all. It's all, we've got it all. And quit looking for validation. Quit looking for someone to tell you how to be. And quit following those people. Quit listening to those people, because you know why you're here. And if you don't, you better look and really, do some self-analysis and because it's there. It's all there. It's all there. It's all right here. You're there.
Yeah.
It's all nonsense out there. It's all theater.
I agree. I just think that's, one of the biggest things, because you never know. I mean, there's people that I have learned a lot from and enjoyed time with and stood beside. And it doesn't mean, but nobody is 100% all good or all bad. And then maybe something happened and I thought
We're mixtures of good and evil, if you want to use
Yeah.
those terms.
then there
We're
may be
complicated.
seasons that, time to, not share time together anymore or whatever. I don't know. There's seasons, but you can't attach your identity with someone else. Your value doesn't come from another person.
No, it doesn't. No. They can validate your beliefs. I mean, they can reinforce those beliefs, but it's you. I mean, you are you, and that's really what it comes down to. And you got to know thyself. I mean, I am that I am. And that's what it is. I mean, it's a very profound thing. And that's you just got to know that, and and you'll find that frequency with somebody. And we found it in our community. I mean, we've found a lot of people that are. A lot of the frequencies are connecting, and that's why we're the wandering boats that come to the lighthouse. And we're all there. It's the same fire burning that we all resonate with, that same frequency, and that's just what we're here for. It really is.
And
and this is how you find the lighthouse. Here's one of them.
Yeah, I want to give a big thank you to Polly P and to Jim Montgomery for buying Team Mighty shirts.
I hopped on Polly P. What was it on the 30th? I said, "Hey, I was about to order," and he's like, "Oh no, I'm ordering." And so a couple of those shirts, he's ordering for me. The big ones.
Some with him. Okay.
Yes,
awesome.
And so he consolidated the order a little bit. So
thank you.
With some of the other
thank
community.
you to Westwood. I didn't see how many. I just saw I got emails and they mentioned.
Yeah, so Polly ordered a bunch of them, and a couple of them were mine. So we just figured, what, we'll just have one order. Let's just do that.
Okay, awesome. So they will be there in time. They ship on I don't know, and pretty soon they'll be there in time they arrive before June 1st or 2nd. So they'll be there in time for the meetup.
Perfect.
In June 18th, 20th, whenever everybody shows up at Westwood's. So I wanted to make sure I got the time closed in time so that everybody would be sure to get their t-shirts in time so we can wear them at Westwood's. But
for the big meetup, June 20th, big link at the top.
That's right. So
I'm thinking now, because we really need to go on the road again. And so we need to get, people subscribing to your Patreon so we can, drag my big butt out on the road and do these meetups. And this one here is local, so it's good. But, a thought occurred to me. I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'll wear that shirt, and then the lovely Litecoin Lisa can sign it, and I'll sign it if you want me to. But maybe we'll have an auction or something, and I'll sell the shirt off my back to raise some money. I don't know. I got to be working out a little bit more before I do that. But I mean, hey, you never know. Maybe something like that could happen.
I did order an extra shirt, so I could auction a shirt off as well.
That'd be pretty cool. That'd be cool to have everybody sign it.
Oh, that comes to the meetup.
Yeah, I mean, wouldn't that be awesome? I'd
one live get everybody to sign it at the event.
Yeah.
And we could have maybe we can have two. One goes live for people that couldn't make it, and then one that's for people there or something. I don't know. We'll try.
I don't know. It just popped into my head, like many things do. So many things fall out of my head. But I thought that'd be a good way to raise some money to kind of do more of these meetups, because I do enjoy it as much as act like I don't.
I love it. I love being around.
I know, and I love that you drag me out on the road. And it's just it's good, because I wouldn't have so many great people in my life if I had not participated in that. And thank you for being part of my journey and making me do things that I think I don't want to do. But
yeah, and thank all of you guys for being a big part of our journey, because it's all about the community and sharing it with everybody. It's just so much fun. So we're trying to come up with ideas. I want to bring value. Everybody's things are tight, and so my Patreon has dropped off significantly, which that is what funds me being able to get out on the road. So if you have ideas for content that you'd like to see, like if you'd like me to stream once a week or do a Q&A, or I don't know, what would be the motivation for signing up? What would be worth it to you guys? If you would put that in the comments, or send me a DM on Twitter, or message me, or
I mean, come on, who doesn't want to see the lovely Litecoin Lisa on the road coming to your hometown? I mean, you know, that in itself is enough. I mean, just join the Patreon. I mean, do you have a link below? I think I have it on the website. I mean, I think there's a link there under community resources.
Yeah,
That you can click
it's
on your
in
Patreon.
every video. There is a link.
So go join it. And you know, what is it? I don't even know what it is a month.
It's $20 a month.
Okay.
And you can message me, and
I've already consumed $20 in alcohol tonight. So, you know, and cigars. So come on,
There
what's
you go.
$20? You know,
Yeah.
to get to give lovely Litecoin Lisa a hug in your hometown. I mean, come on.
well, and if you want to host a meetup, then you know, once we get that built up where we can get on the road again, then if you'd like to be a host at an event, then we can do that, and you can.
Yeah, and we'll do that. We need people that have boots on the ground, that know their communities, that know that, hey, you know, hey, here's a bar that we can show up and do a live happy hour and have a meetup, and, you know, and open up some wallets and some Litecoin, teach some people about cryptocurrency. I mean, because it's all encompassing. That's what we're there for. I mean, it really is to build that that ecosystem and that grassroots network of energy. And so, yeah, I mean, you know, give it some thought, you know, run it around in your heads, and, you know, shoot her some ideas. And,
Girls,
you know, we need you.
Ornery. They are getting ornery. I think there's some people visiting the neighbors or something, but anyway, so I'm looking forward to that. Would love to get back out on the road, and, you know, as soon as we sell this house, so everybody, happy thoughts tomorrow morning, 10 a.m.
Yes.
And we'll get this house sold, and then Charlie and I will really be free to bounce around. And it's summertime. Kenan and I just had our last homeschool
Yes, that's
co-op
gotta feel good.
meetup, so we've got several months of flexibility. So, you know,
And Lisa's not afraid to drive. I know
love
that.
you know, I'll get out on the road and come see everybody this summer, and you know, have a little summer adventure. Who knows? Maybe we'll drag Nana along.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah,
I want to see
trying to-
Nana at this meetup on June 20th.
I'm trying to get her to.
I know. I worked
have an
it
idea.
last week. I'm trying.
We have an idea. We might get her to fly in for just the event, and like Friday and Saturday.
Okay. Hey,
So we're talking about it.
any Nana is better than no Nana.
Yeah, I think we're going to do it. So, but we hope to see all of you there. So go to clintwestwood.net. You can click on the very link at the very top, 2025 Happy Hour Roadshow Live Tour, and help us build that out. Help us come to your town. I'll coordinate with you. I have a little marketing company. I've been doing events for years and years and years. And I will figure it out. But we want to see you, and we want to help build a crypto community in your town. You can take it over from there and do a monthly meetup. We can just help you kick it off. Let us help you kick off a local meetup in your area.
No, exactly. How awesome would that be? And then, you know, I can swing down there sometime and, you know, just show up. You know, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, we will see you next time. But if you would like to continue this conversation, jump on Spaces with us. Follow at Clint Westwood underscores on both sides on Twitter, or follow me at Lisa Mighty Davis on Twitter. We'll all be there later tonight. My ex,
Love y'all.
call it.
Trust yourself.
Trust
You have to.
America's not the government, people. The America is you. It is the Grand fucking Canyon, the Rocky Mountains, the deserts of the Southwest, the Pacific fucking Ocean, the Atlantic fucking Ocean. It is the grandest continent. And what the fuck have you people done? You have turned yourself into sheep, every goddamn one of you.